Hello, I'm Robin, pronouns she, they, and I thought I'd answer the question as a trans woman, why do I not choose to be feminine? Um, Sometimes I do present more feminine than I am at the moment. I will say that at the moment my presentation is probably somewhere uh, in between the two genders. Um, I do not have a strong compulsion to present as extremely feminine. Um, I think it's partly because I really don't care about passing. I don't really care what other people think. I'm transitioning for myself. I'm still a trans woman. I'm still taking the hormones, and I'm still on the list for one surgery. I sometimes do present in a more feminine way, and honestly, it does make me happy to do that. But it's not something that I do commonly, and also I never do drag, by the way. That's an art form that I don't particularly jibe with personally. Um, Now, there's a difference between gender identity and gender expression. My gender identity is definitely on the strongly feminine side. And I don't know why that is, but that's what makes me a trans woman. But my gender expression, I don't have to always. Well, I consider that I always present as female. Um, my body shape is a woman's body shape. Um, and I tend not to wear many men's clothes. In fact, the only one that I tend to wear quite often is underwear, just because it happens to be more comfortable. Um, that's something that will change after I've had that surgery that I talked about in the previous video. But I'm choosing to present how I want to present at any given time, and it's why I consider myself a non-binary trans woman. It's because I'm not that feminine, and there's no problem with that, really. As I said, I'm transitioning for my happiness, and some people do that, and it's fine. And you do see a number of examples of people who have dysphoria at a level that their presentation is strongly opposed, I will say, to their assigned sex at birth. So if they were assigned as female, they would present heavily masculine. If they were assigned as male, they would present heavily feminine. My own style, I don't like to be ultra feminine. I don't like that style, and it's a tendency for trans people, as they're going through as they're going through their life, before transition, during transition, and afterwards, tend to go through a bit of a kind of S curve. If let me see if I can do this. If you can imagine this middle part of the screen represents a neutral gender presentation. Down here would be masculine, and up here would be feminine. What tends to happen sometimes, and what happened for me as well, is that through my life I've done this sort of thing. I've tried to affirm my masculinity, so I've come down to there with things like martial arts and stuff like that, which hasn't really worked because it's not my truth as such. Then, as I've discovered my transness, I've ended up at these lofty heights while I figured things out, but I settled down somewhat, and then the graph just carries on somewhere in this region. So my presentation is usually moderately feminine. It's not very feminine. If I'm out and about, I've usually got a handbag with me, which is of course accepted by society as a feminine way to present, and I do tend to be seen as female until I open my voice, until I start to speak, and I speak in my voice. I've talked about my voice before, but generally I speak in this sort of voice. I might increase the pitch of it a little bit, but it's still clearly quite a masculine voice. I don't try really to change that, because again, that part of my gender expression I'm just comfortable with. I quite like my voice as it is, so I don't try and change it. So why do I not choose to be feminine? It's just because I'm choosing to present in the way I want to present at any given time. I wouldn't say I ever choose to present in a heavily masculine way, but there's a tendency for it to vary between the extremes of feminine and neutral, I would call it. Yeah, somewhere in the middle. So hopefully that's answered that question. Please feel free to ask questions. Don't feed the trolls in chat. And I'll record my answer to another question or another topic for discussion for next week. Thank you once again, and goodbye.